going to do a video here on a cheap, easy, and safe way that I feel is almost the only way to improve your trigger on your on any of your high point models. This just particularly has to be the C9 here that I own, and so it's going to be part disassemble, but mainly trigger improvement, because I've gotten a lot of people emailing me and stuff asking me disassemble and also how to improve the trigger. So I'm going to go over that. That's what this is going to be about, but I'm going to go over some of the things I've done to what I feel improve the weapon. I bought Talon gun grip rubber panels, and you buy them in sheets. They're only $10, and I just basically cut to fit, and then put the back strap and front strap, and put a little piece up here, which I don't particularly use, but in a situation where you actually gotta focus on a long shot or something, that would somewhat help. Plus I had it left over. So another thing I did to improve, I put white up here. I took out scraped out the yellow and basically just filled it in with white paint, just because that's what I'm used to. Nothing wrong with the orange and the yellow, but to me, with the black finish and the white, it just looks more like your traditional firearm. Plus that's just what I prefer. Another thing I did that was an improvement was the mag button. This mag button is off of the JCP 40, and also the same button is on the 45. And the reason why I replaced that with the more flush one was because during times of carrying, you can accidentally pop your mag out. I've done it where I've come home and mag partially popped out. If I would have needed to use that gun, and granted there was one in the hole, but I wouldn't have had a follow-up shot. You know, it would have been a tap and rack situation, and you want to avoid those by all means. So I replaced that. And then I've also engaged that during shooting, where I've hit that and dropped the mag out. So complete, no custom to it. It fits right on there. There was no trimming, shimming, nothing like that. It basically just pulled the old one off, put that new one on. It's that simple. And High Point's so excellent with their stuff. I basically just called the 40 company, and his name was Josh, answered the phone, and basically I just told him what I was doing and the issue that I was having with this one, and that I wanted to try to swap it over. He said he didn't see why it wouldn't fit, that a lot of their parts are interchangeable, but he wasn't for sure. I asked him how much was the button. He said, what's your address? I'll send you one for free. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. So and then another thing that I did, which not really a customization, but I glued my serial number. And the main reason why I did that is just because I don't like anything shiny on my firearms, and the plate was on there, and just basically I prefer all black, so that's kind of what I was trying to go with this was just black on black on black. So get into the trigger job. As we all know, gotta lock it back, and a suggestion for, I've seen the guys doing them on the 45s, and when they lock this back and they try to hammer the pin out, the slide keeps working its way back forward, and you gotta keep pushing it back, locking it. Put an empty mag in there, slide lock it, pop the pin out. I've sat and watched numerous of videos on guys where they'll sit there and freaking tap, 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 and then they gotta lock it back some more, tap, tap, tap. And I've even done it with some in the shop. And basically, when I was just sitting there one day, and when you slide lock the 45s and the 40s, they line up perfectly with the empty last round hold open lock, and just pop your pin out at that point. It's not going to move. So punch, hammer. the side, you punch out. Here's a trick, so your spring and all that stuff don't go forward. Dry fire. Okay, pull it back, pop it up. Okay, your recoil spring. I'm not going to mess up the slide and stuff. There's nothing we're really doing there. Here's where your trigger job's going to come into play. I'm going to take the right side grip handle off. Screw aside, pry up on it. If you ever have any problems with your mags falling out, this is the spring. If you just give it a bend, it'll add more tension. Okay, the cam arm, polish the back of that. But here's where you're going to come in to your trigger job. Okay, your sear assembly here. Mine's already done, and I'm going to add a little bit more just to show you. Okay, you can either get gun grease or I use Automotive Grease. And for fathers out there, this just basically pack this. It's an applicator. Basically, it's for medicine for your kids, but it serves its purpose. And take Automotive Grease is what I got here. Okay, pack that. Okay, as you see, my spring's already packed. Put that back in there. And then here where your cam actually lives, in that hole, just take a little bit and apply it there. Drop your sear back in. Okay, and then your cam arm, if you want to polish it, it's not really going to make a big difference. I did remove the paint and polished it just a little bit, and then also take some of your grease and put here in the location basically behind your cam arm, right here. Or you could just straight put it on the back. Then also what I'll do is I'll fill that hole in a little bit like that with grease, so that way when I put it onto my sear, there's actually lubrication there. Okay, and here's another thing I'll do. Right here where your trigger arm and your cam arm connect, you can polish those two. I personally don't. I'm going to put just a little dab of grease there. Okay, and that's all there is to it. I don't really, this is the things I don't recommend. I don't recommend you doing any kind of polishing or any kind of filing or deburring or removing material from A, your sear, B, your firing pin. Okay, your stiff spring that's in there, it's the only thing holding that up, which is preventing your firing pin from accidentally dropping and striking your primer. Okay, these things have what they call a counterweight / drop safety design. Okay, I will argue the fact of will that work or not. I don't know. I personally think it's just mainly on the sear spring being stiff. Okay, I mainly think that is just a way to shut the fucking liberals up, that design. But I do not recommend you polishing your cam, replacing the spring with any other douchebag on YouTube replace his spring with a Bic ink pen spring. Come on, guys. If you're going to do shit, be professional about it, okay? And greasing up sears and stuff is something that is been a trick for a long time. A lot of people do it with your Glocks and stuff like that. You'll polish up the arms, put a little dab of grease in your high friction areas. It gets you a nice pull. Same thing with your firing pin. I don't recommend you polishing your firing pin or deburring or any of those things. I will not stand behind people doing that. And the main reason is because of safety. Okay, and when there's burrs and stuff like that, okay, eventually after time, it will remove itself. Okay, what needs to be removed will remove itself. Okay, you don't need to get in there and fucking do some Billy Bob shit and fucking start jumping in there with your file and your Dremel and stuff. Okay, it don't need to be done. It will eventually work itself out and smooth up. Okay, so just by doing this will give you a nice smooth, almost like a double action pull. Okay, I just want to reassemble by putting my mag catch button spring back on there. Okay, and as you notice, I don't have the mag safety in mind, just because I want to be able to fire it without a magazine in there if I need to. There's different opinions on that, and I see both sides. Okay, I see, if somebody's trying to get your gun from you, you drop your mag, lives have been saved. I know, you don't need to tell me again. And I'm not really going over it. Okay, what I do is I find it easier if I just lay my slide down like this on the table flat, and then come in with the frame of the gun, lining up my guide rod with the front of the slide there where it lives, and just coming in, dropping it, letting it fall into place, and then picking up on the back, dropping my retainer in there. And I do that for a couple of times just to make sure everything's in there, and then just getting that back in there like so. And then that's going to give you nice pull on your trigger. So that's it. You got any questions, please leave a message or a comment down below. But hopefully that kind of might help some people out get a better trigger. Thanks for watching.